All right, welcome to your personalized deep dive. We're diving into copywriting and marketing today.
Oh, interesting.
Since it looks like you're getting started as an entrepreneur,
Yeah, and what's fascinating about the materials you sent is that they kind of debunk this myth that copywriting is all about
being super creative, right?
yeah, like breaking the rules or being
Get
artsy.
that too.
But really, when you get down to it, it's about something way more straightforward, and one source even quotes
Oh, yeah.
the advertising legend Howard Sawyer, who said that copywriting is salesmanship in print.
So it's really about selling, huh?
Absolutely. It's not about winning awards for creativity. It's about getting people to take action.
I like that.
You know, another source quotes Eugene Schwartz, who is a master copywriter, and he said that copywriting is the art of getting people to do what you want them to do by using words.
That's a good one.
So think about it.
Yeah.
It's less about being a poet and more about being a salesperson.
Using words.
Yeah, using words as your tool.
So how do you do that effectively?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Do we just load up on data and logic?
Yeah.
Well, data's important, sure. But I think it's interesting that some marketers get so focused on data that they kind of forget about the emotional side of things.
Oh, interesting.
And these sources suggest that actually appealing to human emotion can be even more effective than
just logic.
in certain cases, yeah.
Okay.
And they point out that even though we have the internet and all these new platforms, human psychology really hasn't changed that much.
So we still respond to the same
Yeah.
persuasive techniques.
We respond to the same persuasive techniques that have been used for decades, regardless of the medium.
So even though things have changed,
Yeah.
we're still
The internet hasn't changed human nature,
Right.
and it hasn't changed buying psychology.
interesting.
So, speaking of grabbing attention, let's talk about headlines, which are really like
That first impression.
the front door to your message. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have a good headline, they're not even going to
They're not even going to open the door.
read the rest.
Exactly.
And these sources break down headlines into 8 types.
Oh, wow.
Direct, indirect, news, question, command, reason why, how to, and testimonial.
Interesting.
And each one has, strengths and weaknesses.
So how do we know which one to use
Right.
for our specific message?
It really depends on your goal and who you're trying to reach.
Okay.
So for example, if you want to be super clear about what you're offering, a direct headline can be really effective.
Give me an example.
Like get 50% off your first order.
Okay, straight to the point.
But if you want to be a little bit more mysterious and kind of draw the reader in,
Yeah.
you might use a more indirect headline like, the secret to whiter teeth that dentists don't want you to know.
Oh, I see.
Something like that.
That makes you want to click.
Right.
Yeah.
But what are some of the key qualities of a strong headline, regardless of which type we choose?
Well, one source I was looking at really emphasized these 3 things.
Okay.
It needs to be benefit-driven.
Okay.
So clearly stating what the reader will get out of it.
What's in it for me?
Exactly. Ultra-specific, meaning avoiding vague language.
Get to the point.
Yeah, and unique.
Oh.
Saying something new or reframing a familiar concept in a fresh way.
So how would I use that for, let's say I'm starting an online store selling handmade soap.
Okay, interesting.
How would I write a headline for that?
Well, instead of just saying handmade soap for sale, which is kind of generic, you could say something like, indulge in luxurious all-natural soaps that will transform your shower routine.
Oh, I like that.
So it highlights the benefits, it creates a sense of luxury, it's specific, and it's more intriguing.
So it's more about the experience.
Exactly.
Rather than just the product.
Yeah, it's not just the soap, it's the feeling, the transformation.
Okay, now what about things to avoid in headlines?
Well, the sources warn against things like blind headlines that don't make any sense without reading the whole thing.
Got it.
You want to avoid negative language, things that kind of turn people off and jargon that people might not understand.
So just be clear.
And
Clarity is key.
straightforward.
Yes.
So we've got a great headline and people are clicking through. Now what?
Now what? Right. That's where the body copy comes in.
Okay.
And one of the most important things to remember is to write for the reader, not for yourself.
So less about us and more about them.
Exactly. It's not about bragging about your company or how many awards you've won.
Right.
It's about focusing on how your product or service can actually help them solve their problems, improve their lives.
So put yourself in their shoes.
Yes. One source called this you orientation,
Interesting.
putting yourself in your customer's shoes and really speaking directly to their needs and desires.
Instead of saying, our software is the most innovative.
Say something like, are you tired of wasting time? This software can automate your workflow.
Exactly. You're speaking directly to their pain point and offering a solution.
I like that.
And once you've got their attention with that strong opening,
Okay.
keep your paragraphs and sentences short.
No one wants to read a novel.
No one wants to wade through a wall of text, especially online.
Right? Especially these days, people
People are scrolling, they're skimming.
Yeah, exactly.
And, there's even a quote from Hemingway who said, poor Faulkner, does he really think big emotions come from big words?
That's a good one.
It's a reminder that simplicity and clarity are often more powerful than trying to sound super sophisticated.
I like that. So just be direct.
Be direct, use simple language that everyone can understand.
What about sensitive topics? Is there anything we should be careful about?
Well, one thing that came up in the research is the importance of avoiding sexist language.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You want to be inclusive and respectful in your writing.
So how do you do that?
Well, one practical tip is to use plurals whenever possible.
Okay.
So instead of saying the doctor and his patients, you could say doctors and their patients.
Got it.
Small change, but it can make a big difference.
Yeah, so we talked about headlines, body copy, and even some of these language nuances.
Yeah.
But what about really understanding the customer?
Yes, that's key.
Is it enough to just know their age and gender and location?
Well, those are important data points,
Mm.
but these sources suggest that to really connect with your audience, you need to go beyond surface-level demographics and tap into their psychology.
Get into their head.
Yes, understand what makes them tick, what motivates them, what keeps them up at night.
So how do we do that?
Well, one source introduces a really interesting concept called the BDF formula.
BDF.
Yeah, it stands for beliefs, desires, and feelings.
Interesting.
It's a framework for getting to the heart of what truly drives your target market.
Okay, I'm listening.
So let's say you're selling a course on how to start an online business. Instead of focusing on the technical features of the course, you could actually target the feelings of overwhelm and uncertainty that a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs feel.
I see. So speak to their emotions.
Speak to their emotions, yeah.
How do we figure out their beliefs, desires, and feelings?
It takes a bit of research.
Okay.
You can gather information from customer data, conduct surveys, even just observe online conversations.
So do your homework.
Do your homework, yeah, and try to understand those underlying motivations.
This is really helpful. I feel like I'm starting to understand the strategy behind all this.
Good.
It's not just about, catchy slogans. It's about understanding the customer.
It's about connecting with them on a deeper level.
All right, so we've covered headlines, body copy, understanding the customer. Is there anything else?
Well, even with the perfect message, you still need to stand out in the market.
Right, because everyone's saying something.
Everyone's vying for attention.
Yeah.
And that's where your unique selling proposition comes in.
Okay, the USP.
Exactly, the USP.
I've heard that term before, but...
It's kind of like the DNA of your brand.
Okay, yeah.
What makes you different.
Sets you apart.
Sets you apart, yeah. And one of your sources actually pointed out that according to Rosser Reeves, who was a pioneer in advertising, a USP has 3 key requirements.
Okay.
A clear proposition, a unique advantage, and it has to be compelling enough to attract new customers.
So, going back to my soap example,
Yeah.
what would be my USP?
Well, instead of just saying, we make handmade soap, which doesn't really say much,
It is not very unique.
you could focus on a specific benefit or ingredient. So what if your USP was handcrafted soaps made with locally sourced organic ingredients that nourish your skin and soothe your senses?
Oh, so it's more specific and targets a certain...
It targets a specific type of customer, yeah,
Okay.
who values those things.
What if I pick something unique that no one else is doing?
Yeah.
The customers don't really care.
That's a good point. The difference has to be something that your target audience actually cares about.
Right. It has to matter to them.
And that's why understanding their beliefs, desires, and feelings is so crucial.
So you know what they want before you try to sell them something.
Exactly.
Okay, this is all making a lot more sense now. We've covered headlines, body copy, understanding the customer, developing a USP.
Yeah.
Are there any other copywriting techniques that we can use to bring it all together?
Absolutely. And that's what we'll be diving into next.
Sounds good.
There are so many techniques in these sources, from using false logic to speaking to the reader on 3 levels.
Wow. Okay, we've got a lot more to uncover.
We do.
We'll dive into those techniques next time.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. All right, so we are about to get into some specific copywriting techniques.
Right.
And one that I thought was really interesting is this big promise plus secondary promise.
That sounds interesting. What is that?
It's kind of a way to overcome skepticism
Okay.
and create a safety net for potential buyers.
Oh. So the big promise is your main selling point, that bold claim that grabs their attention.
Right.
But since it might sound too good to be true, right?
Right.
You follow it up with a secondary promise to add credibility.
To back it up.
Yeah, and to manage expectations a little bit.
Okay, give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you're selling a productivity course.
Okay.
And your big promise is double your output in 30 days.
That's a big one.
That's a big promise, right?
Yeah.
But some people might be like, yeah, right.
Sure.
So you followed up with a secondary promise, like, even if you don't achieve a 100% increase, you'll gain valuable time management skills that will make you more efficient.
So you're kind of saying, even if you don't hit this big goal,
Yeah.
you're still going to get something out of it.
You're still going to get value. You're still going to learn something.
Okay.
So it addresses that skepticism.
That makes sense.
Another technique that I thought was really interesting, it's called false logic.
False logic.
Now, before you think we're advocating for being dishonest,
Right.
this is about skillfully framing facts to support your argument.
Oh, okay. So it's not lying.
It's not lying, but it's about choosing which facts to highlight.
I see. So how would you use that?
Okay, so one source used the example of a high-end kitchen knife set,
Okay.
and the marketing copy might compare the price of the knives, say $500, to the cost of constantly replacing cheaper knives over several years.
Right. Okay.
So they're saying, you're actually saving money in the long run
By spending more up front.
by investing in the more expensive set, right?
Yeah.
But they're kind of downplaying the fact that not everyone needs professional-grade knives.
So it's all about how you present the information.
It's about the framing.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. What else?
Another technique that really stood out to me was speaking to the reader on 3 levels.
3 levels.
Yeah, so this is about appealing to their intellect, their emotions, and their personal experience.
So you're hitting all the bases.
You're hitting all the bases, yeah.
Yeah.
You're creating this symphony of persuasion, so to speak.
I like that. Give me an example.
Okay, so let's go back to that online business course.
All right.
On an intellectual level, you might present data about the growth of e-commerce.
Okay.
On an emotional level, you might tap into their desire for freedom and flexibility, being their own boss.
Got it.
And on a personal level, you might share a story about someone who took your course and achieved success.
So it's more relatable.
It's more relatable, it's more human, and it creates a stronger connection.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've explored some copywriting techniques.
Yeah.
What about reaching our target audience?
Right. So let's talk about choosing the right marketing channels.
Okay.
One source broke it down into traditional and digital.
Okay, let's start with traditional. Is print advertising really dead?
Well, it's true that digital has taken over a lot,
Yeah.
but print can still be effective for certain businesses.
Really?
Yeah. For example, newspapers are great for local businesses.
Oh, that makes sense.
Time-sensitive promotions, they
Yeah.
offer that local reach.
So if I'm opening a bakery,
Exactly.
I might want to advertise in the neighborhood newspaper.
Absolutely. And remember, newspapers often have a loyal readership,
Okay.
especially among older demographics.
Who might not be online as much.
Exactly.
Okay, what about magazines?
Magazines are a bit different.
Okay.
They tend to have a longer shelf life,
Mm-hmm.
and they can reach a more targeted audience based on interests.
So if I'm selling like high-end cooking supplies,
Yeah, a gourmet food magazine.
exactly, I might want to go that route.
Precisely. But even within print, you have to be strategic.
Oh,
Newspaper ads need to grab attention quickly.
yeah.
Bold headline, clear call to action.
Got it.
Magazine ads allow for a little more storytelling.
Okay, interesting. What about direct mail? I was surprised to see that in the materials.
I know, right?
It seems so old school.
But direct mail can actually be really effective.
How so?
Well, think about it. Everyone's inbox is overflowing.
That's true.
So a physical piece of mail can really stand out.
Especially if it's like a handwritten note or something.
Exactly. Something personalized, well-designed.
Okay, so it's not just sending out flyers to everyone.
No, it's about segmenting your audience
Okay.
and tailoring the message.
What about catalogs?
Catalogs can still be relevant,
Really?
but you have to think of them as more than just product lists.
Okay.
They're an opportunity to showcase your brand personality, tell a story.
Create an experience.
Yeah, think beautiful photography, compelling product descriptions.
I see. Okay, so make it more than just a shopping list.
Exactly. Invite people into the world of your brand.
What about public relations?
Public relations, or PR, is all about building relationships
Okay.
and managing your brand's reputation.
So it's not just about getting press coverage.
It's more than that. It's about telling your story in a way that resonates, positions you as a thought leader.
So where do you even start with that?
One of the most effective tactics is content marketing.
Content marketing.
Yeah, creating and sharing valuable content that's relevant to your audience.
Like what?
Blog posts, articles, ebooks, infographics, videos.
Even podcasts.
Even podcasts, exactly. The goal is to provide value.
Right.
Build relationships through that content.
So it's not just about promoting yourself all the time.
It's about establishing yourself as a resource.
And building trust.
Exactly.
What about influencer marketing?
Influencer marketing is another tactic that's gaining popularity.
Yeah, I heard of that.
So this is about partnering with influencers who have a strong following.
Like those people on social media with tons of followers.
Exactly. And the key is to find influencers who align with your values.
Makes sense.
And whose audience overlaps with yours.
Okay, so you're reaching the right people.
Exactly. It's about building authentic partnerships.
Okay, not just like a one-off thing.
Yeah, it's got to be genuine.
What about community engagement?
Community engagement is all about being present and active where your audience is.
So like online forums and stuff?
Yeah, industry forums, conferences, events, even volunteering.
So being part of the community.
Being part of the conversation.
Okay.
Now, even though PR has expanded beyond traditional media, press releases can still be a valuable tool.
Okay, so how do you write a press release that gets noticed?
A good press release should be clear, concise, and newsworthy.
All right.
Think about what would be interesting to a journalist.
So if I'm launching a new product,
Yeah.
I should think about what publications would be interested in that.
Exactly. And start with a strong headline that grabs attention.
Okay.
Clearly communicate the key message, and then provide more details in the body.
It's like a mini news article.
A mini news article, exactly. Present the facts in a compelling way.
This is all really great information. I feel like I'm learning so much. What's the one thing I should remember about PR?
PR is all about building authentic relationships and telling your story.
Right.
Being present, being valuable, being genuine.
I like that. So we've explored traditional marketing, public relations. Next time, we'll dive into the world of digital marketing.
All right.
Get ready for websites, landing pages, email marketing, online ads, and of course, social media.
Sounds exciting.
Stay tuned. So we talked about traditional marketing and PR, but now let's get into the digital world.
Right, because that's where it's at these days.
It feels like there's a new platform popping up every day.
It's true. Digital marketing moves so fast.
Yeah.
But some things stay the same. And one thing these materials really emphasize is that your website is your foundation.
So it's not just about having a website. It's about having a really good one.
It has to be good, because it's often that first impression for potential customers. So it should look good, be easy to use, and most importantly, have copy that clearly explains what you're all about.
So if I'm selling, let's say, clothes online, my website should not only show the clothes well, but explain, like, my brand and why it's special.
Exactly. What makes you different from everyone else out there?
Okay.
And don't forget about calls to action.
Calls to action, remind me what that is.
It's basically telling people what you want them to do.
Oh, okay.
Like browse the collection, sign up for the newsletter, buy something.
So guide them through the website?
Yeah, like a salesperson in a real store.
Okay. And what about landing pages? How are those different?
Landing pages are kind of like special destinations on your website.
Okay.
They're designed for one specific goal.
Oh, I see.
Like getting people to register for a webinar or download an ebook.
So it's more focused.
It's super focused, a streamlined design, minimal distractions, and copy that's all about that one goal.
Now, what about email marketing? How do you get people to sign up for your emails?
You got to offer something valuable.
Like what?
A discount, a free ebook, exclusive content.
So they get something out of it.
Yeah, it's not just about sending ads.
Okay. And once they're signed up?
Be consistent.
What do you mean?
Send regular newsletters. Don't spam them, but stay top of mind.
Keep them engaged.
Yeah, build that relationship.
Okay, what about online advertising? There's so many options.
Think of it like strategically placing your message in front of the right people.
Okay.
You can target based on demographics, interests, all sorts of things.
So if I'm selling baby food,
Yeah.
I could target parents.
New parents, yeah, who are interested in healthy eating.
Exactly.
And the cool thing about digital ads is that you can track everything.
Oh, that's good.
So you can see what's working, what's not.
Okay, but how do you make your ads stand out? There's so many of them.
They got to grab attention fast.
Okay.
Eye-catching visuals, strong headlines, a clear call to action.
So it's like the copywriting principles we talked about before.
It all ties together, yeah.
Now let's talk social media.
Yes, social media.
It can feel overwhelming.
It can, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
First, choose your platforms wisely.
What do you mean?
Not every platform is right for every business.
Okay.
So figure out where your audience hangs out.
Okay.
And focus your energy there. So it's better to do a few things well.
Then try to be everywhere.
Okay. And once I've chosen my platforms.
Create valuable content.
Like what?
Behind-the-scenes stuff, industry insights, customer testimonials, how-to videos, inspirational quotes.
So it's about engaging with people.
It's about building a community, not just selling.
And don't forget to actually engage.
Respond to comments, answer questions, be part of the conversation.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly.
This has been so helpful. I feel like I have a much better grasp on digital marketing now.
Good, good.
What's the one big takeaway?
Digital marketing is about creating a cohesive online presence that attracts customers, builds relationships, and drives sales.
So it's all connected.
It's all connected, yeah.
Yep.
Focus on your target market, provide value, and never stop testing and refining.
Okay, I like that. I'm excited to put all this into action.
That's the spirit, and remember, you can track your results so you can adjust your strategy along the way.
That makes me feel better, like I can experiment and learn.
Exactly. Embrace the journey.
Any final words of wisdom?
Stay curious, stay adaptable, and most importantly, stay passionate.
I like that. Thank you so much for guiding me through this deep dive.
You're welcome.
It's been really helpful. And to all the new entrepreneurs out there.
Yes.
Remember, you're not alone. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep believing in yourself.
Absolutely.
Until next time, happy marketing.